Hello everybody, it's Christine. I've noticed my lighting gets a little weird when my window's open. I may have to close it because I think the camera tries to adjust. So I may mess with that in just a second, but I'll show you this first. What I have is the last little bit of my April 24 hip kit, and I started to put it away. And I thought, Christine, you have 3 friggin' pieces. I actually had a little bit of scraps and stuff, but I thought, I can use this. I know I can do something with this. And so what I think I'm going to do, I'll show you this in a second because technically I pulled that out after I pulled out the papers. And I think what I'm going to do is cut these blocks. I'm going to cut this shape out and use this on top of this stripe here. And then I think I may cut out some of these speech bubbles. And I may try to find some wordy bits, like funny little snarky wordy bits or something, because this is my bonus dad, you guys. And he is such a teaser. Like his sense of humor, he's a little stinker sometimes. My mom gets, I want to say she gets mad, but honestly, I think she knows he's going to be the kind of way he is. But he's so funny, and he was doing this funny little picture here. He has his little fingers up and stuff, and I just love it. So I think I'm going to document him with maybe these speech bubbles is what I'm thinking. I've got these letters. This came with the kit. I think I'll do some kind of like funny man. I think that could be good. Let me see. Funnyman. Oh, shoot. I don't have enough N's, you guys. Funny dude. Could I do funny dude? Yeah, I could do funny dude. Okay, anyways. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll mount him on a piece of white cardstock. Ooh, that's going to be... That might be a tight squeeze. I may have to trim off just a hair, maybe on this side because I have a little extra to fit that on there. And yeah, so let me check my window and I'll start cutting up some stuff. I'll be back on in a second. Well, I don't know if the window closing the shade helped or not, but we'll go with what we got, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my little set of colored blocks out. And I don't think I save a little bit of the scraps, I guess, but I'll cut this little thing out. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do the whole thing, but I just basically went around. And then eventually I'm going to use my little scufferator or distressor from Some Assemblies Required. I'm going to use that to scuff the edges of this. I actually trimmed the top off. There was like an unfinished box or like a half box, I think it was. And I took that off to kind of bring it in. So it kind of, I use the word floats, but it kind of floats over the big stripes, right? Here's where I've got my photo, and I've got the white photo mat on it, and then I'm going to actually take, maybe it was the back side of those now that I say that, it's the green kind of diamond pattern, and I'm going to go ahead and use that, and that just kind of separates it, you know, from the background. Let's see, what do I do next, y'all? I think the next time I pop over there is going to be to cut out the little speech bubbles. I'm not going to lie, I think this turned out really cute. It didn't take me very long. It's not terribly embellished. But, you know, it's a boy, so maybe that's okay. Not lots of embellishments on a boy layout. I have to trim this up just a hair. And I did have to narrow my photo just a tad. I think I took off like 1/8 of an inch for it to fit on my pre-made white cardstock piece. Here's where I'm going to just kind of, like I said, kind of go around here and do the edges of the little square blocks here. I only use foam. I do end up using foam behind the photo. I don't use foam underneath anything else. I really kind of went back and forth about that. The title is foam letters, so I guess it has some dimension, and I will end up using some chipboard. And like I said, it really wasn't that complicated. I did get into my binder and pulled out a few pre-cut embellishments as well, and I got some little enamel shapes, and you'll see that in just a minute. I don't actually make you sit through, like I said, watching me cut out the speech bubbles. And, oh, I also had pulled out, well, I'll show you in just a second. Let me finish this part up real quick here. As I was mentioning, my stepdad is kind of he's a little pooter, and he likes to tease. So I'm going to share with you some of the may be kind of small on screen. So I did get into my Tim Holtz snarky phrases, I think is what the name of it was. And I'm not going to lie, I've used those, but sometimes they're hard to use because they are snarky, right? And it's like, I don't always want to be snarky on my scrapbook pages. So sometimes I've used them on cards, but it's like, okay, how can I use them? And I was able to use a number of them here, and I was really happy. So one of them, okay, I'll just start from the left and go into the right. So at the end, when you're looking at the layout, you'll kind of know what direction they're in. So the first little bubble says, shh, no one cares. And then I have one that says, my favorite thing to make is dinner reservations. That basically, he likes to eat out a lot. He does have a gluten sensitivity, so we have to be careful where we go. He has celiac, so we have to be careful where we go, but he loves to eat out. I've got a good heart, but this mouth, ... When in doubt, vacation. I'm not childish. You're just a big duty head. Where's the unsubscribe button on adulthood? Frequently irreverent and sorry, not sorry. I think those are funny. They're like funny, but without being mean. I don't know how to explain it. But to me, these were like, this is kind of who he is, right? It's like funny, but he's not mean. It's just, teasing. So here's my title. I'm just going to put funny dude. I almost thought about using what a funny dude, but I would have had to do a different font because I didn't want to have a 4-letter or 4-word title with the same font. I'd have to really go get a mixed font. And I was being a little bit lazy. I will find a piece of chipboard, though, that says totally rad, so I'll add that later. But, okay, I'm about to cut out these little speech bubbles. And basically, I just picked some that kind of had them going different directions. And I'll try to have them come up and around the photo. And I'll have those glued down by the time we get back over. Here we go. So you kind of see I've glued them down. I've actually scuffed the edges of the speech bubbles as well. And here's where I'm going to take the little snarky phrases and kind of put them on here. I have to kind of figure out what fits where. So that's what's taking me just a second here. Because I want it to look, intentional without leaving too much room or being too squished or whatever. And I think I do a fairly decent job. I think I will need to take my Nuvo glue behind them, though, because some of them are kind of lifting, and I don't want to lose the phrase, because then you lose the entire point of the speech bubble, right? And so I'm just going to kind of go around. This is where I'm adding their various little phrases. I also contemplated in my chipboard there, you can kind of see it laying there. There was a couple that had some color, but I thought once I started with the typed out ones, I didn't really want to change up. I thought it looked cute with the typed out little phrases. That one's the one that says, I've got a good heart, but this mouth. I had to figure out where to cut them, where they'd fit, but also the sentence didn't look silly. So that takes me just a second. I probably shouldn't have left all this in here, but I just wanted you guys to see kind of what I was doing. There's a couple of pages. There's actually black with white letters, but I think that would have been too striking. So that's why I went with the white with the black letters. And yeah, I'm just going to stick these down here. And I have to kind of hurry. At the moment I was doing this, the beekeeper guy was coming. I think I mentioned in a video the other day, we've bought this farm. Or I shouldn't say farm. It's not really a farm yet. We got this property, and to get a tax exemption for agricultural, you have to have, a certain amount of acreage, and you have to have a certain amount of livestock or animals or whatever. Well, we have just under the amount needed for like cows and things. So even though we got goats coming, so we have to do bees, which we're fine with that actually, because we really like honey. But bees are just like any other livestock, believe it or not. You have to learn how to take care of them. So we got in touch. The county actually recommended a gentleman, and he came out and he was explaining to me, that the hives have to face southeast, and they need this, this far from food sources and blah, blah, blah. And so he's going to mentor us for a couple, 3 years while we learn how to do our own beekeeping. And then in a couple of years, we have our own hives, because he'll come help us, but we'll have learned how, and then have our own honey. So I've got all my little phrases down there. Anyway, the point of me telling you all that was he was on his way, and he was almost there, and I had to hurry. Here's where I got that totally rad. I think that looks kind of cute. And then I'm going to start adding some embellishments. Now, this is my binder. You can see it to the left there. I grabbed some flowers. I'll get some chipboard circles. Do I have the chipboard circles out? The little pie-shaped looking things. Here they are. I think those are cute. They have the little collections. I do not know, to be honest with you, if they came with this collection. This might have been an entirely different. I can't swear on it, though, because the color palettes with Hip Kit, they'll kind of coordinate, across months sometimes. Well, lots of times. They have like multiple colorways, and then once they, start using a colorway, you'll find it on different months. And so I pulled out these little circles, and I got these little flowers. I'll actually pull out some hearts as well, but I only had 3 of them. And so I'll set these down, but I'll end up ultimately deciding to do 4 little clusters, which may sound wrong, but I think because of the way the little squares are, it's okay. It works out okay. So I'm going to, like I said, go through my things here. And I'll actually just do the 3 initially, but the upper left corner to me just looks blank. So that's where I end up pulling out another piece, and you'll see that in just a second, I think, anyways. I think I'll leave that on here. I leave the hearts on here through the filming, and then as I'm gluing down the embellishments, I go, no, you don't look right. I'm going to have to take you off. It just didn't. It was like I only had 3 hearts, and then also it became 4 little embellishments in each cluster, and it just didn't feel right. So I'll actually end up taking those hearts off. Here's me just kind of finding spots for these. They don't stay exactly there. But here's where I did decide, you know what, I have to have something up here. It just looks a little strange. But I made it the biggest pie. So it's like it kind of, like there's different size little pie pieces too. Now that one's not chipboard actually. It's actually a ephemera piece. So that's also, I pull out those little enamel arrows. And I think those look cute. They're kind of pointing, into the middle. So your eye goes there. So when I show you the slow down here, you're going to see the hearts have disappeared. So there you go. So there's the slowdown. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was just a quick layout. No hop or anything like that. So just enjoy. And don't forget to do the like and subscribe. I really need to start saying that at the beginning. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible. Anyways, you guys do that, and we will see you next time. Bye.